What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham news update. Now in this video, I'm of course going to be talking about the MCM Expo, you know, all the reveals that were announced and things, because it's finally over and there's been an absolute ton of things announced. You're all going to be very excited because there's a lot of characters that many of you been requesting, and they are in the game now, and it is, well, it's exciting. It's really exciting. But that's not all. No, that's not all. So this is the first video, which is going to be talking about all the things that they showed off in the gameplay at MCM Expo. But also, later today, there will also be another video I'll be uploading, which shows off a ton of new screenshots, and then the final video, which I'll be releasing today, there might be more, but this is the plan. The final video that I'll be releasing today is a video, of course, of the new character, because every day there's going to be a new character released, and hopefully by tonight, that new character will be announced, and we'll get another character reveal. I mean, that's just insane. And then, of course, tomorrow night, there'll be even another character reveal, and then another one the next day. It's absolutely insane, but it's just amazing being able to know that every day we're going to get a new reveal, and that's just awesome. So anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first off, I just want to mention that although there may be characters in this video that I didn't talk about that were shown in the gameplay, the reason for that is probably because, well, we've already kind of seen them. So what I basically try to do here is show off characters that we haven't really heard much information on, because there will be characters that you'll be like, hang on, we've already seen this character in screenshots. Yes, but I'm just talking about a few of the, you know, all the abilities and things. But then, of course, there are some brilliant new reveals, and we'll get to them later in the video. So first off, here we have Swamp Thing. Now, we of course was shown Swamp Thing the other day. Really brilliant character design. I mean, you've got to give the props to TT Games, the guys and gals there. They did a tremendous job on taking that character from the comic book and making it into Lego. I mean, I know I always say this, and it's probably getting a little annoying, and I do apologize for that, but I can't help it. I mean, TT Games are just brilliant at taking characters from any media and put it into Lego, because you can already tell who it is. As soon as a screenshot, a video, whatever is released of that character, you know who that is straight away, because that is because of TT Games. You don't think, who is that? Who have they just made? You know who it is, and that is very impressive. So anyway, the abilities they showed, he of course, you know, has all the abilities you would expect a big figure to have. He can punch, he can kick, he can jump. He can't fly, obviously, but there are lanterns that can fly that are also big figures. So yes, you can smash everything in sight, but then fly away. So that's pretty cool. But Swamp Thing also has some abilities that other big figures don't. He had some really weird but really cool looking tendril attacks which absolutely destroyed all these trees. They look really powerful, and I honestly think he could be one of the strongest characters in the game. I mean, the big figures themselves are the strongest characters. I mean, they're huge big things that just destroy everything in their path. But his tendril attacks, they absolutely wiped out everyone in sight. So yeah, Swamp Thing is going to be a very devastating character to play as, and I'm really excited to just destroy everything in all these hubs and everything. It's going to be really awesome. Next up, I just wanted to mention a really cool little thing that I didn't know about with Lex Luthor. Some of you may have known this before. We did see a picture of this suit, but basically here it is. So during the panel, they showed a lot of really cool suits for each character. You know, they showed Batman, I think they showed Robin, but of course Lex Luthor also has suits. And one of the suits which I really liked was Lex Luthor's Decoy Suit. Now, there are times in the LEGO games where you're like, oh, I need a hand, I'm having trouble getting past this part, or these enemies are too strong. And then, of course, a co-op partner can come into the game and play with you. But what if there isn't a co-op partner available? What if you're just playing by yourself and everyone's out or something? Well, now, with a character like Lex Luthor, his Decoy Suit can actually bring in some extra Lex bots, and they will help you in combat and things. I'm not sure if they help you in anything else. Maybe it'd be pretty cool to see them give you, you know, hints and suggestions on what the way to solve a puzzle could be, maybe. But I think it's mainly just combat. But I definitely think that's a really cool addition to the game. And of course, even in co-op, so then you would have Lex Luthor and another character, and then you'd have his Lex bots, and you'd just be like a load of characters fighting all these enemies on screen, and that's going to be a really cool feature. Alright, so next up here we have another awesome character, and it is of course Giganta. Now, we were shown Giganta the other day with two screenshots. The first one was released was a giant figure version of Giganta, and we all thought that is amazing. I mean, our jaws just fell to the floor, at least mine did. So with this character, we all thought, so is that a transformation or does she always look large? And then they released another screenshot, which was a minifigure version, and then we thought, is it a red brick? Can she transform? Well, today at the event at MCM Expo, yes, she can transform from a minifigure to a giant figure at any time. That is awesome. It's really cool to see such a cool feature like that for a character. I mean, again, it's so true to the character as well. That's what you would expect them to do. It sounds really complex, like to get that into a video game, to allow the player to be able to turn from that size to an even bigger size at any time. That must have been a really difficult task for the the development team. So in combat, Giganta, she can of course smash everything in sight. She can strike enemies and they'll go flying. It's really cool. But also what I noticed is when in combat, she also stamps on enemies. And in the gameplay, she stamps on one and then she just like repeatedly stamps on him and just destroys everything in sight. So although it's really cool to see a character so large just destroying everything in sight, and that's going to be a lot of fun, they also managed to add a little bit of humor to the character, and I think that's brilliant how Traveler Tales can take characters like that, make them fun, make you want to play as them, but also make you have a good laugh while you're playing as them. Now here is the man himself, Mr. Jason Todd, aka the Red Hood. Now before I talk about Red Hood, I'd just like to say thank you to Arthur Parsons, because he did actually mention me before he started talking about the character, and that was just really cool. I mean, that just shows how deep that Traveler Tales listen to their fans. I'm a fan. I don't just make videos on this game just because I can. I make videos on these games because they are games I enjoy. I absolutely love the Lego franchise. I think it's amazing. I love Marvel and I love DC. So to be able to make videos like this and to share my knowledge, and for you to share your knowledge with me, is amazing. So for developers like Traveler Tales to see the knowledge that we all have, to listen to it, and to put it into these games, you can't thank them enough for that. So I've got to thank Arthur Parsons for mentioning me at MCM, because that was really nice of him. So anyway, many of you were asking, why are you so excited about Red Hood, Ben? I mean, he's just a guy with guns. Well, there's many reasons why I love the Red Hood so much, The main reasons are basically, I love his costume. His costume is so cool. It's brilliant. His weapons he uses, all of his skills and everything, really, really cool. The most important thing about Red Hood, the main reason I like the character so much, is his backstory. His backstory behind the character, it's amazing. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to talk about it because it's that good. If you want to find out a little more about the character, then I would suggest probably watching Under the Red Hood, I think it's called. Watch that. You will love the character. I mean, he's amazing. I don't know how you couldn't like him. But if you don't like him, that doesn't matter. I mean, everyone's different. I think that's the great thing. I think some people would rather have Raven in the game. Me, personally, I really want to play as Red Hood a little more. So, everyone's different. So anyway, back to the game itself. So in this gameplay, Arthur and Phil showed that Red Hood can of course shoot both of his guns. Now when we first saw these guns, a lot of us were like, oh no, it's those big chunky looking guns. But when I saw it in the gameplay, I love them now. I think it suits Red Hood so much in this gameplay. There was nothing I saw wrong with the character. He looked better than I expected. I know he's just a guy with guns, but I don't care. He looks awesome to me. He can, of course, like I said, shoot both his guns. He can target enemies, objects, and the co-op partner. We can now target the co-op partner, which I think they've been adding to a game and then taking out multiple times now. It's been like back and forth. But now I believe we can just target, the co-op partner and fight each other whenever we want. So that's really cool. I also saw a jump attack, and I imagine he probably has more melee combat moves in the game itself. Alright, so next up here we have the Grey Ghost. Now, Grey Ghost was of course announced the other day. It was really cool looking into the backstory behind that character, Bruce Wayne watched his TV show as a child. It helped him grow up to be the man he is today after the death of his parents. I think that's really cool. I really like the idea behind that. And apparently somebody told me, I apologize, I can't remember who it was, but somebody told me that one of the things about Grey Ghost is if they couldn't get Adam West to voice him, then he wouldn't have been in the show. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, Grey Ghost, if you count him along with Adam West and the 1960s Batman, you get 3 Adam Wests. So there are 3 versions of Adam West playable in this game, and that is really cool. Now, gameplay-wise, they didn't really show much of what he can do, but it didn't really matter. He looked awesome, and, you know, yeah, he looked awesome. He looked like a really fun character to play as. They did show, however, one thing, which was, of course, his gun. He had, I would call it probably an old-fashioned, almost Western-style pistol. It was kind of like the one in the old LEGO games, like LEGO Star Wars, like Han Solo had and things. It was kind of like those types of guns. Oh, yes, also the Indiana Jones. It was very similar to those, rather than the big chunky ones that we have these days for like characters like Red Hood. So that's kind of all they showed for that character. But again, still a really cool character, and of course he's voiced by Adam West, so who wouldn't want to play as him? Alright, so next up here we have the Black Canary. Now this is really cool because this now means that we have two Canaries. Now you're probably thinking, well, how do you mean? Well, this is of course the classic comic book version, and then of course we also have the Arrow DLC pack from CW, the TV show Arrow. Now, what's interesting here is that I found out recently that the Season Pass will be available at launch, but you will only be able to play with the Batman Dark Knight DLC pack, 75th Anniversary, and the Man of Steel. Arrow pack will be coming later. I don't know when, but I hope it comes soon enough because I really want to play as all the Arrow characters because I love that show. So anyway, with this character, she does everything you'd expect her to have. I don't know if many of you played as her in LEGO Batman 2, but I did. I played as her tons of times in LEGO Batman 2. I mean, she was just so much fun to run around as. She could scream at everything. It was just fun going up to cars and things and making them explode by just screaming at them. She was a crazy character that I didn't really know much of, but yeah, she's awesome. And I think, again, that's a great thing about these LEGO games. You get to know these characters, and even one that you don't even know about, then you start to like them, you start to learn more about them, and I just think that's really cool. So Canary, of course, has all the abilities you'd expect her to have. She can target enemies, objects, and a co-op partner, just like I said before, where, you know, you can take down your co-op partner now. And that's going to be really fun for, you know, kids and families who want to fight each other. You can have, like, Batman versus Joker, so that'll be really cool. Another thing, which I think is the best thing about Black Canary in this game, is that when you scream at goons, they will explode. Now, what I noticed was, just like in LEGO Marvel, they have a meter sort of thing where you get combos, so it's like a combo meter. Every time you attack an enemy, it goes up. It'd be really cool if her special combo meter is she just screams at all the enemies in the area and they all blow up. Imagine that. That would be incredible. Alright, so here we have a really awesome character, and he goes by the name of Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold. Now, Captain Cold was requested quite a few times, actually. I know there's a lot of Flash fans out there which are really hoping for this character to be in the game, and here he is. And I think that's really cool to see, not just the Flash, but also his villains, because then, of course, you know, you can fight each other and everything. It's going to be really fun. So in terms of gameplay, Captain Cold has all the abilities you'd expect him to have. He has his ice gun, which he can shoot, he can spray it continuously, and when he does that, it actually causes enemies, and if you want to, the co-op partner, to be frozen in a block of ice for a few seconds. Now, I believe Captain Cold was actually in LEGO Batman 2, but in a DLC, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if he's as cool as he is in this game, but you know, he was playable in LEGO Batman 2, so maybe if you really want to play as him right now, then you should go on Xbox Live or PlayStation Store or whatever and pick up that DLC, because then you can play as him until the game's out, so that's pretty cool. Now, this character was requested many times in both my videos and social media. It is, of course, Professor Zoom, aka Reverse Flash. Now, I know many people are going to be really excited about this, especially Flash fans. You know, if you're a fan of the character Flash, then you're going to absolutely love playing this game. One person I know that will love this in particular is my friend Francesco, who I believe he said once that his favorite character, his favorite superhero in general, was the Flash. And who could blame him? I mean, Barry is an awesome character, so it's really cool to be able to play as him. And, you know, there's awesome features for this game. If you're a fan of the Flash, you know, you can run around the entire moon and everything. You can run around all these planets. You can take down all these bad guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, you've got this Rogues Gallery. You can play as the Flash himself. You can play as Trickster, Captain Cold, Reverse Flash, and even Gorilla Grodd. That is going to make for some amazing moments in co-op. And then again, if you're not a fan of the Flash, there's also Batman villains, There's tons of lanterns, absolutely tons of lanterns, and probably so many that we don't even know about yet. It's insane. So anyway, you probably want to hear about the Reverse Flash himself. You don't want to hear me going on about all these characters that we already know about. So Reverse Flash, he has all the same powers as the Flash. It's what he does. He's basically the opposite of Barry. Now, many people got a bit annoyed, we'll say, at Lego Marvel because there was many characters that did the exact same thing as another character. I can't really think of any examples right now, but there were many characters that people really were annoyed about. Well, I think what happened was TT Games probably saw that and we thought, right, okay, we should probably pay more attention and actually, I say that, they pay a ton of attention, but I mean as in, they basically just looked at it and thought, we should probably try and differentiate characters a little more, even if they have the same abilities. And that is exactly what they have done with Professor Zoom. So instead of just giving us a different, look for Barry, like just a yellow and red Barry, what they've done is they've actually decided to alter his animations and even some of his combat moves to make him differ from the Flash. So that's really cool. They didn't really show off what they meant by that exactly, but he definitely looked much different to the gameplay we've seen in the Flash so far. So definitely look out for him because he's going to be a really fun character to play as. Alright, so next up here we have Duck Dodgers, aka the Green Lantern. Now, they actually showed off quite a lot of his abilities during the demo. So, first off, he has the ability to shoot rays of Green Lantern light. I think they showed this off of Hal Jordan in very early gameplay, and I think Bleeze as well, but I imagine the lanterns will actually be... They'll probably have unique abilities depending on the colour. So, for example, John Stewart will probably be able to do things that Bleeze, which is a red lantern, won't be able to do. I imagine that's how it'll probably work. So yeah, he can shoot beams of light, he can continuously shoot it, he can target enemies, objects, the co-op partner, like I said. He also, which you can see from this screenshot, can create constructs to solve puzzles. Like, for example, here we see him digging up these little bits of Lego. So it's not just a little silly character. He does actually have a purpose, and he will actually help you in the game. And I think that's a really cool thing that Travel Tales always try to do. Yes, this character is wacky and corny and, really unexpected, but you can use him and he'll be able to help you in the mission, and that is really cool. Now here is an awesome lantern character, and it is of course the Red Lantern Atrocitus. Now he was actually on my character list. I think I put him in my top 10 list. I might be wrong in that, but I did make a big list of characters and it's on Twitter and you can see it. And he was one of the characters on it, and I'm really glad to see that he's playable. But they've never shown anything on him. They've shown him in the trailers and things, but they never showed many screenshots or really any gameplay of him. So it's really cool for today to be able to see what he can do in game. So first off, when playing as the character, Arthur and Phil showed this crazy jump attack where he jumped in the air, he hits the ground, and it leaves these huge spikes sticking out. There was these big red lantern light everywhere. It was absolutely insane. And to be honest, I have to say that is the coolest looking move I have seen in the game by far. I mean, it's just amazing. It just destroys everything in sight. It's so cool. And of course, Atrocitus also has the ability to attack with melee combat like the rest of the big figures. And like I said previously, this time with this LEGO game is big figures, they don't just run or walk anymore, they can also fly, as long as it's a lantern. There might be other big figures that aren't lanterns that can fly, but I haven't seen that yet. So if, it's Atrocitus and Kilowog and things, so they're the only big figures that can fly so far. Alright, so last but not least, the final thing I wanted to talk about is the character grid. Now, what's interesting about this is that there are some characters on the grid that haven't been revealed yet. But, of course, like I just said, we've talked about tons of new characters, there was tons of new things announced, but in the grid, there were a few things that weren't announced, but are there. And if you look at it, you can see a lot of really cool characters that many of you have actually requested. So, let's have a look. So, the ones that I can see that I've listed is Ambush Bug, Dr. Fate, Etrigan, Killer Moth, and Zatanna. Apologies if I pronounced any of them wrong. Now, Ambush Bug, Dr. Fate, and Killer Moth, they have no screenshots yet, sadly. There's no screenshots there on them at all. And I'm pretty sure that is Dr. Fate. Although it's his helmet, I am very sure that is the actual Dr. Fate, you know, the actual playable character in the game. Plus, he's been requested many times, and I'm pretty sure, you know, TT Games know that. However, Etrigan and Satana, again, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's quite hard to pronounce some superhero names. They seem to be very complex these days. But, yeah, those two characters, they do actually have some screenshots, and they will be in my next video. So, definitely stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, what was your favourite thing that was announced at MCM Expo? Me personally, well, again, I love how Arthur Parsons mentioned me. That was the coolest thing ever. And also the fact that Professor Zoom is in the game now. He was a character which I was kind of looking forward to playing as, and it's really nice to see him in the game. So, yeah, definitely really excited about that character. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for lots more news on LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. And as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.